What's up, Boopers? Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the new and upcoming Alliance patch that's already been released on Tera. I'll be covering the raids, the 10 and 20 man stuff soon, but that'll be in another video. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started right away. Boop. So in an upcoming patch, there are going to be 3 alliances introduced into the game. 1 alliance per continent. 1 for Almanthia, 1 for Velica, and 1 for Kaiador. You can only be a part of 1 alliance at a time. First, to join an alliance you must be in a guild. The leader of your guild will then be the one to choose which alliance you join. Your guild leader can join an alliance by heading to one of the 3 major city headquarters located outside the capital in these 3 locations. You can also port to these headquarters through normal transportation means in major cities. You know, those little spinning teleport baubles in the cities? You can use those to get to the headquarters instead of just running outside of the city to the headquarters yourself. But you should run there the first time just to check out how cool they look. Your guildmaster can pay 1,000 gold to join an alliance, and once joined, you can still switch alliances, but this has a 6-hour cooldown and you'll have to pay the fee every time. I can't confirm whether or not switching alliances resets the points you earn in that alliance or not, but I'm assuming it does. So once you've joined an alliance with your guild, what does it mean? Well, you can now fight the other 2 alliances and try to earn alliance points, or do repeatables and dailies to try and farm for new enchantments and gear. First, battling the other 2 alliances can only be done inside one of 3 new instanced areas. To get to these areas, enter one of these portals inside the new headquarters. These portals can transport you to any of the 3 new areas you choose. Each of the 3 new instanced areas belong to one of the 3 alliances, so there's a zone for Kaiador, Velica, and Almanthia. When inside your home alliance's zone, you'll be put inside a fortress. If you port to an enemy zone, you'll be placed inside a base camp. So each area has 1 fortress and 2 camps. A fortress for the alliance that owns the area, and the 2 camps for the other alliances that don't own the area. So what are the purposes of this fortress and these base camps? Well, the new alliance system is all about earning points and gathering mats to become counselor, or to craft these new items that boost your damage beyond ways that gear can. A counselor is basically a super Bannock. But first, let's talk about how to earn points. There are a ton of ways to do this, and I'll try to cover them all, as there are also a lot of restrictions and Korean is hard to translate. So, the first source of points, and the biggest one, is to capture enemy base crystals. These are located inside their main fortress. Each alliance has their own crystal inside their main fortress. Being near it when it is captured by your alliance will give you a significant amount of points. Be aware though, the fortress is filled with NPCs, and the faction that owns this fortress will want to protect it, as they need these NPCs to do quests and such, and they don't want you running around killing them while they're trying to do the quests. Capturing it is no easy feat. You'll need more than just your own guild, unless doing it in the middle of the night like a sneaky sneakster, or using a tactic with some of the new items that I'll talk about later. But be aware these areas are filled with guards and can be defended by commanders using cannons and more guards and fences and all sorts of stuff. Now, once a base has been captured, there's some sort of 2-hour delay where the town is safe from any PvP again, so a 2-hour cooldown on crystal captures. But whether or not this limit will be brought to NA is to be seen, as it seems like a Korean farm security measure. At the moment in Tera, it seems PvP is disabled for 2 hours, then enabled for 2 hours, alternating regardless of captures to allow people to quest for at least 2 hours without a giant swarm of PKers destroying their home. The next best way to earn points are by doing quests, which can be obtained from NPCs inside either your alliance's fortress or the base camps in the other zones. Most of the quests are from your fortress. The quests will ask you to go out and kill BAMs and normal monsters in the areas or gather some stuff. Obviously the group quests will reward more points than the solo quests. There are also Nocturnium extractors on the maps. You can capture these from the other alliances to earn points. At any given time there is only 300 Nocturnium. By default, each alliance has 100, but you can steal them from other alliances for your own to earn more points. And these are the biggest sources of PvP currently in Tera. There's also rare loot finds off of monsters you can use to earn points, and getting assists and killing other players will earn you points, but these have cooldowns and diminishing returns to prevent friendly guilds on opposite alliances from farming each other. I'm not sure about the specifics on the restrictions, but I know they've been put in place to prevent exploiting. Any points you earn will go towards your guild leader to become his counselor. Now, what exactly does becoming a counselor mean, and how do you become a counselor? Well, it's a good question. The counselor cycle lasts 4 weeks. The first week is solely to earn alliance points. After the first week is over, your guildmaster can then apply to be counselor by paying another 1k gold in the alliance headquarters. You don't have to if you don't want to. And even if you have the most alliance points, if you didn't apply to be counselor, you won't get the position. After you've applied, another farming week ensues. Then, after that week, the guild who collected the most alliance points for those 2 weeks for that alliance will have their guild leader become a counselor. After 2 weeks, the points reset and it starts all over again. So what does a counselor do? A counselor will collect taxes for that alliance's continent. They will assign positions of the 3 next in command, set the positions of specialty stores, assign all sorts of stuff. So if you run for counselor, realize that it's a lot of work, and if you can pull it off, you will make the lives of anyone playing on your continent much happier. So what are the roles of the 3 assigned commanders though? Their roles are to help in battles in different ways. One commander is given the power to summon teleportals, allowing players to transport to them for ultra sneaky tactics. And this guy is called the infiltration commander. There's a defense commander, and he has the power to summon guards, cannons, and wall thingies. And the supply commander can summon a merchant NPC for that alliance to use. The alliance commanders get access to a specialty vendor, special skills, and a mask that gives bonus stats. The counselor also gets a mask with bonus stats too. And these commander guys can receive special funds from the counselor. Then, after that, there is a role in the alliance called Elite Alliance Members. Each alliance has a cap of 80 elite members, and this spot is assigned to players who have earned the most points for the alliance. Elite members will get access to a lesser special shop that sells war flags. These flags buff nearby alliance members with defense, movement speed, resistance, and damage, depending on the flag you use, and they are only usable inside the new areas. So all this is great fun, PvPing to become counselor, but why would the average PvEer be interested in any of this alliance stuff? Well, aside from points, there's this new powder stuff and crystal stuff you can get from doing these quests in these new zones. When you obtain enough powder and crystals, you can use them to form upgrades for specific skills, and the strength of the upgrade varies, so you min-maxers will have to play the RNG game again. Whee! Let's go over each class and the skills that can be buffed via these new enchant thingy-mabobbers. For warriors, the following skills can get a 3 to 8% damage buff: Rain of Blows, Cascade of Stuns, Scythe, Blade Draw, and Combative Strike. For lancers, the following skills can get a 3 to 8% damage buff: Spring Attack, Wallop, Debilitate, and Shield Barrage. And for Challenging Shout, you can get a 3 to 8% threat increase. For Slayers, the following skills get 3 to 8% damage buff: Overhand Strike, Heart Thrust, Knockdown Strike, Measured Slice, and Whirlwind. For Berserkers, 3 to 8% on these skills: Thunder Strike, Flatten, Cyclone, Vampiric Blow, and Evasive Smash. For Sorcerer, 3 to 8% on these skills: Fire Blast, Flaming Barrage, Magma Bomb, Void Pulse, and Hailstorm. Then for Archers, 3 to 8% damage on these skills: Rain of Arrows, Explosive Trap, Penetrating Arrow, Radiant Arrow, and Arrow Volley. Now for Priests and Mystics, the powders are a bit all over the place in what they do to their skills. For Mystics, one can reduce the mana cost of all the auras by about 5. I think it's the upkeep cost or something, I'm not sure exactly. Another makes Titanic Wrath boost attack speed for the first attack after those affected by it by 20%. Titanic Favor will make a 400 HP shield that lasts 5 seconds after it's cast. Warding Totem can get a 50% healing power increase. For priests though, the first hit after being buffed by their energy star will be bumped up by 10%. Regenerating Circle will grant 100 mana per 2 seconds in addition to its healing effect by anybody who runs through it. Restorative Burst will grant 50 mana every second as well as its healing, and the priest receives 30% more healing while under the effect of mana charge. Alright, so there's two more major things to go over. Monster summoning sticks and the new training grounds. I think when killing monsters inside the new areas, you can get these crystals and from BAMs some sort of ore. Combining the two create a summoning stick. They are low quality and high quality sticks, and they're used to summon monsters that can drop loot to craft new gear. My information about these is a bit shaky, but I believe you use these sticks on existing BAMs inside the new zones to make them stronger. I think possibly BAMs designed for 20-man teams, and then they drop materials to craft this new gear. The gear is optimized for PvP and serve as an equivalent to conjunct gear, but a little bit worse, having close to the same stats though, slightly lesser. It's an alternative way to let newer players catch up to the conjunctinators running around. And lastly are the training grounds. Each alliance can enter them via their headquarters. The training grounds is a dungeon, and your entry is limited per day by your rank and points in that alliance, and what the counselor has set it to at the time, I think. Inside the training grounds you can fight monsters in a solo or group environment to earn more stuff to make the gear and the new enchant powder thingies, as well as earn new high quality accessories, you know, rings, earrings, and necklaces. Alright, and lastly I should mention the counselor's power to allocate resources. What resources though? Why, there are new special items strictly for alliance zones to promote interesting strategies in PvP. The counselor can control who gets these, I think, or some can just be bought based on your rank. The items include, but are not limited to, invisibility potions, timed bombs, landmines, slowing and stunning bombs, and flash grenades. Yeah! Flash grenades. Don't flash your teammates. And that's about it. I think I covered everything coming in the Alliance patch, but if you have any more questions, just leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer it. And before you run off quoting my video and getting too excited, remember some disclaimers. These are Korean notes. I am not Korean. I may have gotten some things wrong. The Alliance content has been receiving continuous patches since its release and keeps changing. There's no way to know for sure what will be changed by the time this stuff comes to NA. I'll try to get a video out covering the new 20-man dungeon stuff, but until then, peace out homies. Yo. Boop.